Life and living, they sound about the same thing, but they're not. Life just happens. You're born, you grow, you age, you breathe without thinking about it. You keep going until one day you don't. That is life and that is death. Living is quite a bit different. Living is when you notice life. It's when you actually feel present in your own skin. And most people confuse the two. They go to work, they pay their bills, they eat dinner, they watch TV, they go to sleep, and then they repeat it all the next day. That is their life, and that's not really living. It's maintenance. It's living on autopilot. And if you really think about it, have you ever noticed how many people really put off living? They'll say, I'll do that later. I'm going to. When I have more money, when I have more time. Yeah, I should get around to doing that. But later usually doesn't come for most people. People spend decades in this trap and they call it being responsible. They tell themselves it's necessary. And some of it is. I mean, you've got to do certain things. You need to work. You need to pay your bills. You need to keep the machine running. The problem is that it becomes all you do. It can become all you do. And then you're just surviving and wading through life without really living. The funny thing is that people always seem to find time for things that don't matter. They scroll on their phones, complain about politics, argue about complete nonsense. But when it comes to the things that make them feel alive, like they're really living, they say they're too busy. You think about it. People are always on their phones. They're always doing things. They're reminiscing about the past. They're thinking about, oh, yes, what did this politician say? What did that politician say? And sometimes it's necessary, but most of the time it doesn't matter. You can't do anything about it. So living really doesn't always have to be dramatic. It's not always climbing a mountain or moving across the world or jumping out of airplanes. Sometimes it's much smaller than that, much, much smaller. It could be sitting having a cup of coffee. Thank you very much. It could be tasting it instead of just gulping it down while you rush to work. It could be staying up late in conversation because you don't want it to end. You have a nice dinner with, a handful, half a dozen people that are your friends, and you sit there for 3 or 4 hours at the table having conversation about things that actually do matter. That's living. So living can be big too. It can be saying yes to a big trip, even if it kind of scares you. Oh, hey, I'm getting ready to move to Thailand. Ooh, wow, I'm a little bit scared about that, but you do it anyway. Okay? Um, it may be just something like noticing a sunrise instead of sleeping through it. And I can tell you, there have been many times that I have woken up and I said, okay, sun rises at 6:20. I really need to be there about 6 o'clock. It's 5:30. Oh, I just want to sleep. It's 5:45. And then I think, I got to get up. I always make those sunrises. But some people don't. They don't ever do that. They just, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Living is a risk. Living is stepping outside the little safe box. Living is waking up when you don't want to because there's something that you kind of really need to see, want to see. You want to make something out of your life. You're like, hey, I want to go see this beautiful sunrise. And guess what? Sometimes people wake up. They step out of the box. And that's the thing. Even falling on your face when you're trying feels better than when you just don't try at all. People spend half their lives counting numbers, years, dollars, things. How long will I live? How much money will I make? What kind of stuff can I pile up in my garage? How many things can I get? And the question that they really sometimes fail to ask or rarely ask is, how alive will I be while I am here, while I'm on this planet? And I'm here to tell you, life just goes by so much faster than you think about it. If you're young, think about when you're 20. Now, guess what? 40 will come and go, and you'll be like, wow, That was really fast. And the next 20 years will go by even faster. I've always wondered why people focus so much on stretching life instead of filling the time that they have when they're alive. So what good is 90 years if you were only awake for half of them? Wouldn't 70 years fully lived be better than 90 years or 95 years or whatever, where you're just existing? Who wants to exist? I don't want to just exist. And that's the thing. I mean, I look at myself and I go, hey, I've done a lot of things. I got a lot of experiences. I mean, a lot. So many that I can't even remember them and I can't even count. And you know what? I'm still hungry for more. Even I don't feel like doing things. I'm like, I don't want to travel too much. And then I go, you know what? I really like to go to this place. And I just do it. Even though some of me doesn't want to have to go through going through the airport, dealing with all the people, being around a mass of people, because I don't really like that. I just do. Now, something I've noticed in Thailand is that some of the happiest people I've met don't have a whole lot. A farmer who spends his day in the fields, then laughs with his family at night. A market vendor who chats with customers and always enjoys the rhythm that's going on in her stall. They're not counting the years. They're living in the present. That's what they're doing. And the hard part is that life is noisy. Responsibilities pile up. Obligations can drown everything else out, and you need them. You can't ignore your food, your bills, your family, but that's not all there is. Life starts to feel like a waiting room when that's all there is. You're just kind of killing time until the clock runs out. Or as Joe Rogan said, you're living a life of quiet desperation. There's so many things you want to do, but you don't do them because you've got responsibilities. And then one day, you wake up and you realize decades have gone by and you can't remember the last time that you truly felt alive. You remember the work, the bills, the routine, but you don't remember some of the time that you spent actually living life. And that is the danger. Life keeps moving whether you notice it or not, and living only happens when you stay and you pay close attention. You have to pay attention. And the thing is living doesn't always cost much. Some of the best moments are free. It could be a sunrise. It could be laughing with your friends and you're rolling on the floor. You're in tears. It could be a quiet walk through a place that you've never been before, or sitting in a cafe in Bangkok or Chiang Mai or some tiny little Thai town. I'll tell you what, I remember sitting on the boardwalk in Prachuap Khiri Khan, having an espresso. The place just opened up and I'm sitting there and there's nobody around. There's nobody on the beach and I'm just looking at the water and the waves coming. And I thought, man, this is fantastic here. And I never forgot that. I still remember it to this day. And it doesn't always have to cost that much. That's the thing. But that is what living is. You're present in the moment. Sometimes it's just the small moments you remember. It's not necessarily the expensive purchases. It's not all the hours at the office. It's not, any of those things. It's just the small moments, the little flashes. Life is so short, no matter how long it is for you. You might live to be 120, or you might live to be 20. It doesn't matter if it's 30 years or 60 years or 90 years. It goes by in an instant. And most people, they'll remember you for a short period of time, and then life goes on. Without you, life is still life. Things still happen whether you're here or not. It still goes on. So you got to remember that. And in the end, no one really remembers, how tidy your bills were. No one remembers how many hours you logged at work. And what you remember on your deathbed is the times that you were alive, the things that you've done. And certain people might remember is the things that you did and the passion you had for life. And that's the difference between life and living. One thing happens and the other you notice. And maybe that's really what we need to do, is notice our life and live in the present. So until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok Ni Leo Jerkan Mai. That means good luck. And I will see you again. Take care.